Oh, I fix his plate every night, and oh, I bathe him, and I wash his feet, and I clean his toenails. And what's up, y'all? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, now today I'm not going to be doing the 100 Days of Bible Promises. Remember, I only do that on Wednesday, one day a week, but I said I was going to start trying to um, maybe doing another video um, later on in the week. And so I was watching this podcast about submission. And so I was like, so many things that came up in my mind. And I just feel like there are so many misunderstandings when it comes to submission. I think people, this is just my disclaimer. This is my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion. Now, the word of God is facts, but everything that I feel or that I may say is strictly my opinion. Okay? So, I was looking at a podcast about submission, and it was talking about being submissive and what does it mean to them and different things like that. And so I was like, interesting. Because I think so many times people use submission or being submissive as a way to make a person feel not worthy. And let me explain it. Meaning that if you're saying that me being submissive is to do something sexually that I may not like, or go somewhere worthy that I may not like, I think, again, as a way of controlling, can be used as a way of controlling. But that is not the true meaning of submission. So I said, well, let me go to the dictionary and see what does the dictionary say about just the word submission, period. Okay? Just the word submission. So I said, well, let me go over there and see, for myself. So that's what I did. So let me go to... Child, y'all know I'm going to write down some notes, because, honey, your girl can't remember nothing without them. Okay? And I mean nothing. So I need my notes. So I said, well, let me go over there. So when I say a form of control, submission sometimes can be used as a form of control. Especially if you don't take the time out your own self to try to understand what did God mean by that? Like, what did he mean by that? And so, to me, an insecure man will pull that submission card to devalue you and have you doing things that you should not probably be doing, going places you should not probably be going, especially if you are a woman of God and y'all live a certain type of lifestyle. Anyway, let me move on. Let me go on to the definition, because I've been went down this rabbit hole because it was so much on my mind. I was like, wait a minute now, let me let me do my research. Okay? Now, everybody gets their own understand their own beliefs. No matter what you're talking about, people still have their own understandings, their own beliefs. So this is simply my perspective. Disclaimer, my perspective, my opinion, except for the scripture of the word of God. That don't fold, that don't change. But everything else is just my opinion on this topic, okay? So I looked up the definition of submission. I said, okay, let me see, what are they could be reading. So I looked it up, and it says the act or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. A state in which people can no longer do what they want to do because they have been brought under the control of someone else. I'm just letting that marinate. That's the definition that I think people are reading. When he tell her to be submissive, I think that's the one she read. But that's why it's good to have your own relationship with God. That's why it's good to know God for yourself, because you'll have discernment. You'll know what is right. You'll know what is wrong. And I don't care who telling you to do it. You'll know. And again, this is my opinion. I don't feel like I think women should be submissive to their husbands. Yes, I do. A husband that is following God. A husband that is obedient to God. A husband that is living for God, and God is the head of his house, his body, his mind, his everything. Do I think you should follow him? Absolutely. Because if I am a woman of God, I'm not about to follow a worldly man. Meaning, if he go out, I'm not going out. Anything that's going to take me out of the will of God, I'm not doing. I'm not clubbing. I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm not being involved in sexual menage a trois. I'm not doing any of that. And if that husband loves you and respects you and honor you, he wouldn't ask you to do anything that's outside the will of God, even if he's a sinner. Even if he chooses to live in sin, he will respect your relationship with God. Now, just because it says wives be submissive, it does not say that gives husbands the right to abuse them or lead them into condemnation, destructive things. And that's why I think we get mixed up at. Submission doesn't mean as soon as he walk in the door, I'm kneeling down, I'm massaging his feet, I'm rubbing his back, I'm doing all those things. Because sometimes, my opinion, again, this is my opinion, are you doing those things because that's your desire, or are you doing those things to keep him from doing what he want to do? You're thinking that that's going to stop him from, because often we do those things. We will make a video saying, what one woman want, another one will. We do that. So we open those doors that we don't want open. And so he feeling like, okay, well, hey, my wife ain't going to do this, but I know who will. Well, you know what? You're going to have to go where she will. Because if you think that I'm going to do something that's outside of the will of God, it ain't happening, Captain. If I'm a woman that lives that lifestyle, you're going to have to go over there. And you can stay over there. Okay? Because you just gave me, I ain't going to even get into all that. I ain't going to even go that far, that deep in there. But we know what happens. What happens when you commit adultery. What can happen. You can either fix it, continue to let that person cheat, or get a divorce. I don't know no other way to do it. Fix it where he or she is no longer cheating or committing adultery. Let them cheat. Just act like you don't see it. You just go and cheat. Or get a divorce and move on. There are no other options. And I would recommend doing what's best for you. Know your worth. And that is not being cheated on. Okay? Knowing your worth is not being cheated on. Knowing your worth is not allowing someone to cheat on you. Let's start there. Okay? So anyway, this is just so many twists and turns, so you can kind of go down a rabbit hole with this conversation. So after I did that, I said, okay, let me see, what does God mean by submission? Let me do some research on that. Like, what exactly does he mean by submission? And then it says, so then, biblically, submission is representing divinely appointed authority out of respect for Christ. So when you're being submissive to your husband, you're being submissive to your husband that is following Christ, who's not going to lead you wrong anyway. And I think so often we have that submissiveness, and being submissive has a negative stigma on it because we are following the wrong men. We are following people that are not following God, that are not Christ-like, that are not men of God. That's why you don't want to follow him, because he don't even get up and go to work and provide. He's not even protective of you as his wife. Doesn't even defend you when he see that someone is treating you wrong or doing you wrong. But yet, he wants you to be submissive. Women and men need to feel protected in their relationship. And so that's why women get so upset and feel so some type of way when you bring up submissive. I'm going to do me. Here's my thing. This is my opinion, and I'm probably going to get some negative feedback on it. And that's fine. Because, again, my opinion is my opinion. My perspective is my perspective. And I'm going to say it. Okay? We say we want to be we're Miss Independent. We don't need a man. I got this. I can do this. I can do that on my own. I can pay my own bills. I can do all this. I can do all these different things that we can do without a man, right? So what makes you think one wants you then? Because you really just put down everything that he does, that he can do as the man for you. You really telling him, I don't need you to do anything. I don't need no man to take out my trash. We know you don't need anybody to take out your trash. We know that you can take out your own trash. We know that. But I would like a man that can take out the trash. But let the record show. I'm sure that a man wants a woman that if the trash is overflowing, he's not at home at that time to pull the trash. We want them to lead where we want them to lead, and then stop where we want them to stop. See, it's two things. It goes both ways. So I'm not male bashing, and neither am I woman bashing. I'm being honest. We got to stop saying, thinking that you can devalue a man and think one gonna want you. Do you want to be in a healthy relationship? Do you want to be in love? Do you want to be committed? Do you want to for him to be the leader of the house? Do you want him to be the provider? Do you want him to do all those things? That means that you have to allow him to be that, which requires you to be what? Submissive. Again, to a man of God, or a man that is leading you on the right path. Don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. I did this because he wanted to do this. If that's outside of your will, outside of the will of God, outside of your standards or moral compass or whatever you want to call it, you shouldn't be doing it. And a man that loves you, you'll know if he truly loves you. You'll know if he truly is your protector and your provider. Because he's not going to overstep those things and allow you to feel that way just for his pleasure, his sinly pleasures. See, some things are just common. Well, I don't know. They say common sense ain't that common, but some things are just common sense. You'll know if you should know if someone is leading you down the right path. Okay, so what else I found? Okay, so I said, well, let me go a little deeper, all right? So what are the responsibilities according to the Bible? What does the Bible say about the man's responsibility? God has given the man a unique and special role in the family. His function in the family is to reflect that of Jesus Christ himself. His function in the family is to reflect that of Jesus Christ himself. His function in the family is to reflect that of Jesus Christ himself. Now, you ain't got to repeat. He is charged with nurturing and caring for every member of the family. It is a lot of responsibility to be a man. And I ain't even one. But when I look at my man and I see the things that he has to carry, that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Even with help, it's a lot because you, as a man, you still have certain standards and you still have certain responsibilities that you feel like you need to do, even with help. So you think about a man, his wife, all their kids. This man is responsible for making sure that those people, everyone under his authority, safe, provided for, protected, eat every day, clothes, shelter, even with the help of wives. Even with the example, when you are a supervisor, all y'all work there, right? Just in case somebody don't understand it. Just in case somebody confused. When you are the supervisor or the manager, everybody work there, right? But who are the responsibilities really on? Although we all work here. The supervisor or the manager. Why? Because he is responsible. He or she is responsible for making sure that the job is getting done and done right. Okay? So that's my understanding. That's my understanding. All right. So how does a godly husband lead? A godly husband will do more than ensure he is spending his own time in the Word and in prayer. He will also seek to ensure that his wife is doing the same. This may mean with and able to do the same, meaning help her with the kids, help with cleaning sometime, help with cooking sometime, helping with getting the kids to bed, with bathing, help her be able to be a productive wife also. See, it's two ways to it. I am submissive to him. He is the head of the house. We respect him. We do what my husband thinks is best for the family. But my husband also loves me enough to see that right now I am weak. Right now I need help. Right now I need assistance. So those are also things that he's paying attention to. Those are also things that he's helping with, if that makes sense. So it's just not going around telling me what to do all day. Pick this up, clean it up. I'm not his kid. I am his wife. But a man of God that is following God will not lead you down the wrong path. That's number one. Number two, you can trust him. You can trust him. That's my opinion. Now, I was looking, then I said, well, let me see. Again, y'all know I go down these rabbit holes because I tell y'all all the time. I go down a rabbit hole and I'll be like, now what does this mean? What does that mean? Now, how does God describe men in the Bible? A man is called to be a servant leader, to take responsibility for his wife and children, and to put their needs ahead of his own. He is called to demonstrate selfless, sacrificial love. We're not talking about a man that come in drunk and being abusive, emotionally, mentally, physically. And we're not talking about that. We're not talking about any of that right now. We're talking about a man of God and a woman being submissive to that man of God. Now, you can call him what you want to call him. But I'm telling you now, my husband is not my daddy, nor my zaddy. My husband is my husband. Now, have I always thought this way? No. But when I start thinking this way, and when he started carrying himself in that way, it helped our marriage. It restored our marriage. Because I've been married almost 28 years. It'll be 28 years in February. Have we called ourselves breaking up? Yeah. Have we called ourselves moving on? Yeah. But somehow God brought us back together and restored our relationship and gave me a better understanding of what a wife is, gave him a better understanding of what a husband is. And we put that together and we have a better relationship. Because we both individually do what is pleasing and acceptable unto God. And that way, it always works out. Even if we have a conflict, even if we have a disagreement, are you going to always agree? No, you can agree to disagree in love. You can agree to disagree. But last but not least, because I can go on and on about submissiveness. On and on about submissiveness. And to me, submissiveness does not apply to a boyfriend. And that's another mistake that we make. That's another mistake that we make as women. Giving our all to someone who don't even think that we're worthy of being a fiance or a wife. I'm going to say it again. Giving our all to someone who don't even think that we're worthy of being a fiance or a wife. We're being submissive to the wrong person. So we complain about being submissive to our husbands, but we be submissive to our boyfriends. And do things that we know we should not be doing. Going places we know we should not be going. And then don't get into marriage and then start talking about whatever. Anyway. Am I submissive to my husband today? Well, now, yes. If my husband say he don't think that's good for the family, if my husband say that he don't think that we should do that, guess what? I agree. I agree. Why am I like that now? Because my husband is now following the commandments, the rules of God. Are we perfect? Do we live this certain life? No, we do not. But that doesn't take away from our beliefs. That doesn't take away from our beliefs. Our beliefs. So when my husband say, he prayed about something and he think this, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to talk. It doesn't mean that y'all don't have the right to have a conversation, because your husband's going to respect how you feel and he want to hear your perspective and your understanding. But at the end of the day, he's still going to make the right and the best decision for the family. And sometimes when y'all sit down and talk and have a conversation, he may see another side, another point, or another perspective and be like, you know what, baby, you right. Maybe we can try this way. It doesn't mean that just because you're submissive, you don't have a voice. Just because you're submissive, you don't have an opinion or a perspective or a great ideal or something. It doesn't mean any of that. I think we're going too deep in there. But once you once you call yourself letting a man know that you don't need him, I don't serve no purpose in your life. Because just because you say I don't need you, you're talking about monetarily? Because I think that's what we be talking about as women when we say we don't need no man. I don't need no man. We're talking about monetarily in some cases. But he's not thinking probably monetarily. He's thinking to be your protector, your provider, which can be monetarily, but it's not all about that to him. And does that make sense? Or did I just go down another rabbit hole? Why would a man want a woman that says she does not need him? If we're in a relationship. Now, if you're single and you say, I don't need a man, that's fine. That's fine. But why would you be in a relationship saying, I don't need you? Well, we know nobody really needs anyone. Not like that. You shouldn't. Not like that. But I need my husband to love me. I need him to honor me. I need him to respect me. I need him to provide. I need him to protect. I need him to be there for me. I need him to do all those things in our relationship. That's what I need him to do. And I'm sure it's vice versa. He need me to be understanding. He need me to be a comforter. He need me to be loving. He need me to be a listener. He need me to listen when he's having a vulnerable moment. Those are things he need out of the relationship. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So when you're saying, I don't need you, I don't need a man, that's fine. That's fine. But I just don't know where you're going to find one that want to be with you after you tell him that. Unless you're going to break it down and be like, what do you mean by it? But like I said, again, I could be wrong. But I think when a lot of times when women say, I don't need a man, they are coming from a monetary mindset. And it ain't all about that. Because if you don't need a man and it ain't just the money, be by yourself. Because anything we don't need, we should be by yourself. And that go for a man too. If you feel like you don't need a woman to be those things to you, then be by yourself. But in a relationship, these are things that I need or require or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, the video already longer than what I wanted it to be. I just wanted to sit down and do that because I saw it and I want to talk about it. But last but not least, I'm going to give y'all Ephesians 5:25 reads, husband loves your wife as Christ also loves the church and gave himself up for her. Your unconditional acceptance of your wife is not based upon her performance, but on her worth as God's gift to you. So, again, men, allow your woman to be submissive. Do not take advantage of her kindness. Do not take advantage of her giving spirit and try to lead her down the wrong dark path. Women, stop giving everything to a man that does not find you worthy of being a girlfriend nor wife. You're just a body. And once he's done playing with it, what does he do? What they do with old toys. Throw it away. Go get a new toy. Or whatever you want to call it. And marry. And that's why we feel so... I was with him 20 years and he married her. Well, he didn't have nothing else to do with you. You did everything. You did menage a trois, menage, you name it. I don't want to marry that. Now, I'm not saying I'm mind my business when it comes to the bed because the Bible says, if I'm not mistaken, the bed is defiled. So I'm not going to comment on what people do in their bedrooms, but I'm just saying. Put some clothes on. Everybody have their little sexy moments. But what man really, genuinely, truly don't have a problem with every time his wife hit the door, her breast out or her butt out? I'm probably going to step on some toes with that one. I used to tell people, pick one. If you want to show a little cleavage, ain't nothing wrong with that. In your case, in your case. If you're going to wear some cute little shorts, that's fine, but put your chest in. My mom used to tell me, you don't leave nothing to the imagination. He can't help but to want to go there with you. You're naked. So he can't even concentrate on getting to know you. Everything hanging out. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion. Now, I've never been a skimpy dresser. But that don't mean I'm judging somebody that is. Because some people, hey, do you, boo? But I'm just saying, show yourself to be wife material to a man that wants to be your husband. Put your chest in. Get the shorts a little bit longer. You know, have your little fun. It's okay to be sexy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, have you ever met somebody that every time you see them, they half naked? Every time you see them. Put some on sometimes. I'm telling you, you look very attractive. It's something when a woman is fully dressed and she still looks sexy, that's done something to a man. Like, now wait a minute now. She ain't showing too much skin or nothing. She looks classy and she still looks sexy. Let me get to know her. Let me get to know her. Let me see what's happening, Captain. Because first of all, if you have Nikki, he probably can't concentrate. If he's trying to talk to you, because his whole mindset is on what he can do to you. Put your clothes on. And sometimes that don't even matter. I'm just saying. Sometimes that don't matter. You can be fully dressed and he still think like that. But just in case, you're throwing the rod out there and you're trying to catch a good fish, just in case. Put some clothes on sometime. Okay? Put some clothes. That's just my opinion. I'm giving it to you from old school. I've been young before. And a lot of things I wish somebody had told me. But they didn't. So now I'm telling you. So you got the privilege. All right? But that was the end of what I want to say about submission. And I also want to say there's nothing wrong with being submissive to a husband that follows Christ. And a husband that follows Christ will not lead you wrong or have you doing things that are against the will of God, that are degrading to you, that are belittling to you, that are, he will not have you doing that. So once you be submissive to a man of Christ, you'll see it is easy breezy. And by all means, don't think you have to do those things that, oh, I fix his plate every night, and oh, I bathe him, and I wash his feet, and I clean his toenails, and I do this, and I do it. Or are you doing that because you are that type of person, or are you doing that because you don't want him to go to somebody else to do it? A cheater is a cheater is a cheater. You can clean his toes tonight, and if he's a cheater, he'll go let her clean them in the morning. So do it from the kindness of your heart that's what you want to do, but not to try to secure a relationship. And a man that tells you got to do this and you got to do that, you got to do that, is being manipulative. He's being manipulative. Because you shouldn't have to do all those things just to keep a man. Well, I want a woman that do this and I want a woman that do that. Well, when you got with me, you know I didn't clean toes. But if you wasn't saying all that or trying to be manipulative, that may have been my desire. Let me go on, child, before I start going somewhere else. Another disclaimer at the end of the video. I'm not a minister. I'm not in the ministry. I'm not any of that. I'm just talking from my perspective and my opinion, because this is YouTube. Now, what I said was the scripture, and what God says is facts, and that stands on its own. But everything outside of that is simply my opinion and my perspective. Now, until next time, peace out.